everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So I have the most exciting video to film today. I have been wanting to do this for a few weeks now, and I think I have all of my ducks in a row to where I'm able to sit down and figure out my sinking funds for 2020. Now I do have a pretty good idea of the sinking funds that I want to start incorporating starting in January of 2020, which is just in a few weeks, but I really needed to narrow down the amounts that I wanted to put towards them. And for some of them, you know, some of the sinking funds that I have, or a majority of them, I'm not trying to get to an end amount. I don't have a specific total in mind, an end dollar amount in mind, or even a specific date that I need to have the money by. I'm just contributing money to those sinking funds for whenever I may need it. You know, such as my kids sinking fund. That's really not for anything specific or any dollar amount or any specific date. It's really just if my kids need a new pair of shoes or they need a new pair of snow boots, you know, I have the money to do that. And then I do have some sinking funds that I will be starting that I do have dates of that I need the money. So therefore, I needed to know how much money I needed by that date, and then I also needed to know the date so I can figure out how many paydays I had between January 1st and that end goal date. That way I could figure out how much money I needed to set aside every week when I do my budget for that specific sinking fund. So I have a few that are going to be that way as well. Those of you that have watched me know that I use this Recollections binder, or it's a 3-ring binder, or actually 6-ring binder by Recollections. I got this at Michael's, and I use this for my sinking fund cash envelopes. That's how I store all of my sinking fund money, is in cash envelopes. It's my preferred way to do it. So I am going to first jot down the sinking funds that I currently have already, which you guys that have watched me for a while know which ones I already have. So I'm going to start with car maintenance. Now, car maintenance is one that I have had for quite some time now. It's one of my... When I'm talking, it's really hard for me to figure out if I am spelling things right. But I did. Okay, so car maintenance is a sinking fund that I have had for quite some time now. So I will continue this one. Obviously, we need to have our car maintained, whether it be oil changes, new tires, alignments, you know, and other things. New windshield wiper blades. I actually need new windshield wiper blades. And I put it off until it rains or it's really sleety or snowy out, and then I realize how bad they are, and then I think, hey, I need to get new windshield wiper blades, and then I forget, and then it's just like a never-ending circle of that happening. So I need to get on that. So car maintenance, I have been putting $10 a week in for I don't even know how long, all year, and that is a good amount for me. I don't really think I need to change that one, so I'm going to continue with the $10 a week for car maintenance. And then, actually, let me do something here so you guys can kind of stay with me. We'll use purple. Okay, I'm just going to jot down my categories here. So we have, this will be sinking fund, name, and then this one over here is per week. I budget every Friday because I get paid on Fridays, so the amounts that I'm writing down are a per week amount that I will be taking out. Okay, the next one is Christmas. Christmas is one that I have also had for quite some time. I recommend, if it is financially doable for you, that you have a Christmas sinking fund. You know, a lot of people have a gift sinking fund or a holidays, but having one designated for gifts, basically anything other than Christmas, and then having one designated just for Christmas is really, really a good idea. Just because, you know, if you have gifts, you know, that happens all year round, but if you're putting something towards Christmas all year and you don't touch it until around Christmas time when you start Christmas shopping, and then you're prepared, you have your budget straight, it just seems to work so much better. So Christmas, I had been doing $25, and then around the beginning of November, I think it was, I upped it to $100 a week until December 13th, just because I wanted to get it up there a little higher. I started my Christmas budget later in the year, so I didn't have as much as I would have liked, and my budget allowed me to up it to that $100 for that time period. So I am going to do $25 a week for Christmas. And obviously there's 52 weeks in a year. And, you know, Christmas is obviously the third or so week of December. But at $25 a week, and say we even do 48 weeks, which will put us a month early, so that'll put us right around Black Friday time frame, that's still $1,200, and that's, for me, and my situation, that's a really good budget for me to have. And actually, I will probably still have a little bit left over in my Christmas sinking fund from this year that I'll just roll over into this. So it'll probably end up being a little more than this, but this will be my minimum amount that I have if I put in $25 a week into that Christmas sinking fund. So I think that I will stick with that amount, $25. And one quick thing, all of these will start January, the first Friday of January, which actually I think January, so I get paid every Friday, and yeah, January has 5 Fridays, so that's exciting. I've talked about the 5 Friday weeks in a month for you guys. I call them magic months. They're super exciting to me. So January 3rd is when I will start taking all of these out of my check. Okay, the next one, and also one that I have had for some time now, is gifts. And so like I was just saying, you know, it's nice to have 2 separate categories, one for specifically designated for Christmas, and then one for all the other things that come up during the year, like anniversaries or birthdays, Valentine's Day, you know, anything like that. I don't put too much money in my gifts envelope, just because I don't really have a big family, and I honestly don't know a lot of people, so I don't really buy a lot of gifts throughout the year. Not that I'm stingy or anything, I love giving gifts, and I do buy them every chance I get, but I just don't have a lot of things that I need to buy gifts for. So I've been doing $10 a week for gifts. Now this is one that there's no real end dollar amount that I'm trying to achieve. There's no end date that I need to have this money by. This is one of them sinking funds that I'm just adding money into for whenever I need to use it. So I'm going to stick with $10 for this one. I think that that is a good amount for me for that sinking fund. So the next one is household. Household I use specifically when I go to Sam's Club. I have a Sam's Club membership, and when I go there, you know, I get a lot of my paper products like toilet paper, tissue, Kleenex, paper towels, a lot of canned goods, stuff like that. So that's what I use this for. I also use it in between Sam's Club trips if I need, you know, laundry, detergent, you know, like a lot of consumables. So I have been doing $15 a week. This is another one just like gifts where I'm just contributing to it. I don't need a specific amount, and I don't have a date that I need an amount by. I'm going to stick with $15 a week for household. It seems to work. Next is kids. This again does not have an end date. No specific dollar amount needed. I use this sinking fund basically whenever my kids need something. You know, obviously, you know, I do sometimes use it for birthdays if maybe I don't have enough in my gifts envelope. But like most recently I had to buy a couple new pairs of snow boots for my 2 younger kids because theirs from last year were too small, and we live in the Midwest where it gets very, very cold, lots of snow, so I wanted good snow boots for them. So that's what I used that envelope for. And I do $20 a week in this one, and I'm going to keep it at that. It's one of my higher envelopes aside from Christmas, but you know, when, you know, like the snow boots, I ended up paying $90 for 2 boots. So when I do use it, it's generally more money than not. So putting in $20 every week kind of gives me reassurance that I do have the money in there when I need it for them. The next one that I have been doing is medical, and this one can be for, I use it for co-pays, even getting aspirin or Tylenol or ibuprofen from the store, anything like that. And I've been doing $5 a week, so I'm probably going to jinx myself, but I don't go to the doctor very often. I evidently have a pretty good immune system, and I do not get sick. I'm fairly healthy, and really my kids are too. So I just don't have a need to put a bunch of money into medical because we don't use it. So I'm going to keep this one at $5 a week. Next is personal care. This one is used specifically for my 2 boys' haircuts and for me getting my eyebrows waxed. And if I feel like coloring my hair or cutting it, I do that too, but that's rare and pretty far in between. So this one is really just haircuts and eyebrow waxing, and I'm going to continue to do $15 a week in this one. So car maintenance, gifts, household, kids, medical, and personal care. So all of these except Christmas really have no end date. I don't need a specific amount of money. I'm just contributing to them for when I need it. Christmas is the only one that, you know, has a specific end date. So these are all of the sinking funds that I have been contributing to in 2019, all of this year. So I am going to continue with all of these and these amounts, but I am going to add more sinking funds in January. So the first one is my first child's saving account. So I have been wanting to, my kids, all 3 of them have a savings account, and I try to contribute to it when I can, or they get money for, you know, birthdays, Christmas, stuff like that, and I have them put a majority of it in their savings account, and then they get to spend a little bit of it. But I want to start contributing to it on a regular basis, basically for their college fund. You know, my kids are still young, so if I do this and put it in my budget now when they're little, you know, they could have quite a large lump sum by the time they are graduated high school and go to college. So I have been wanting to do that, so I'm going to start that in January. And I have 3 kids, so I think I am going to commit to doing $10 a week for each child, so $30 a week total for their savings accounts. So I'm just going to do kid 1 savings of 10, kid 2, and really these probably could have all gone into one cash envelope, but I didn't do it that way, as you can see, so I separated it out because they do all have their own savings account at the bank, so it was just easier for me to separate it out. So $30, 10 each for each of their savings accounts. for those 3 envelopes. And these are ones that there's no end date, I'm just contributing money. The next one would be my savings. So I do have a $1,000 emergency fund saved up, and it's in my savings account, my bank savings account. But I want to start contributing to that just because I have paid off a significant amount of debt this year. I only have a few debts left actually to pay. So I just thought that because I have paid off a lot of debt and I have kind of freed up some of that extra money that I did have that was going towards debt, I wanted to kind of start contributing to my savings account. So my savings account, I am going to do $20 a week too, because if I do that, say $20 a week at 52 weeks, that's $1,000.40 every year. And I could always up that or take it down if I feel like I have too much here in sinking funds. But I think that that's a good place to start, would be $20. So I'll start with vacation. And this one, again, no end date. I don't have a specific vacation in mind. I just wanted to put aside some money in an envelope, for if we decide to go somewhere or do something this year. And I am going to do, let's see here. I think I'm going to do 15. So $15 a week for vacation. Again, no end date, no specific amount I want to get to, just in case. Okay, so these next 3 are ones that I have to have a specific amount of money and I have a date that I need it by. So I'm going to start with back to school. And back to school, this is going to be for both school supplies and back to school clothing, backpack, shoes, all of those things for all 3 kids. And I have figured it to be about from the very first week of January that I get paid to right around when I would go back to school shopping is about 33 weeks. So I am going to do $20 a week. That would put me at about $660, which seems kind of like a lot, but when you think about it, per kid, that's about $220. And my kids go to a private Catholic school, and the amount of school supplies that they need, and I'm not complaining because I know that, there's teachers that have to buy school supplies with their own money because they don't have enough stuff. There's not enough money in the school and so on and so on. So I'm not complaining at all, but the school supplies lists are so long, and it's easy for me to spend just $350 just on school supplies. That doesn't include clothes, shoes, backpacks, anything. That's just the school supplies that the school requires for all 3 kids. So $660 I think is a good amount for me to have, that I want to have by August. So to do that, I'm going to need to put $20 a week away for my back to school envelope or sinking fund. The next one that goes right along with that is school tuition. So I just told you guys my kids go to a private Catholic school and it is not free. I do actually get a grant from the Diocese of Sioux Falls, which really helps out a lot, but I still have quite a bit to pay. So what I normally do during the school year is I just make payments every month during that school year for that school year's bill. I don't want to do that this year. I'm going to try to get ahead of the game, and I'm going to save money from January to August to be able to pay this next school year, so 2020 to 2021, tuition up front, just so that I don't have to worry about having an extra payment all year long. So that is what I want to do. So again, I'm looking about the first week of January to about the third week of August, which I figure is about 34 weeks. And I need to have right about $1,200, I think it is. So in order to do that, I need to put $36 a week away. So 36 times that 34 weeks is $1,224, and that will allow me to be able to pay that school tuition in full before the school year even starts, and then I don't have to worry about paying that that money every single month. So it'll be kind of a little weight lifted off my shoulders. The last one that I have here, this list is getting really long. You can get carried away with sinking funds and do too many, which is not a good thing, but I know my budget, I know my financial means, and this works for me. You know, I may start in January 2020 and decide that some of these do not work, and that's fine. That's the good thing about sinking funds, is they're very versatile. I can, you know, stop funding the savings or the vacation or, you know, something that isn't as important if I need to do that. So they're very versatile. So the last one I have is car insurance. And this is kind of like the school tuition. So I am currently paying my car insurance on a monthly basis, and I have since I started driving and paying for my own car insurance. It's just always what I've done. So I'm currently paying $80 a month for my car insurance, but if I pay my premium 6 months at a time rather than monthly, I save like $115. And that's insane to me. I've never been able to do that because I've always been behind rather than ahead. So having this sinking fund while still paying for my monthly car insurance is going to make me ahead in the long run. So starting in January, I am going to be putting a set amount of money aside every week that I need to have completed by July 15th. So that is about 28 weeks. So if I think I averaged it that I needed to do $15. So that would give me $420 if we put aside $15 every week, and I think I needed like $418, I think was what my 6-month premium was going to be. So $15 a week, and then after July, I will no longer have my $80 a month car insurance payment. I will just contribute to this $15 again from July to December to be able to pay for the next 6 months, which will start in December. So doing this, putting a little bit of money aside every week, will get me ahead in the long run, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to quick total this up here. And I'm sure it's going to be on the high side because that's, well, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, sorry, I had to shut my camera off and turn it back on. I think it's 25 minutes. If you get past 25 minutes, it stops recording. And I just happened to look up and it was at like 24, so it was flashing at me red, so I needed to restart it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different sinking funds is what I have here, which it's a lot, but what can I say? I just am all about sinking funds. So we have 10, 25, 10, 15, 20, 5, 15, where are we at here? 10, 10, 10, 20, 15, 20, 36, and 15. So $236 a week in sinking funds. And again, I know that sounds like a lot, but when you think about it, So for car insurance, after July, I will have $80 less a month because I won't be making that monthly payment. And then same with my school tuition, or my kids' school tuition. That's another monthly, because right now I am paying for my kids' school tuition, I'm paying $140 a month. So after August, I will no longer have the $140 monthly payment for school tuition because I had saved up and was able to pay it at the beginning of the school year. And so I'll just have this $36 a week, not that plus the monthly payment. So it's just, you know, getting myself ahead in some of those bills rather than behind and just paying them on a monthly basis, because majority of the times, whatever company or agency or whatever, you know, they will give you a discount if you pay it all at once or in, you know, in a bigger installment rather than on a monthly basis. So that is what my plans are. So we have everything written out here. So I want to show you guys now, for those of you that have not watched me before, my sinking funds binder. So I have, the only sinking fund that I do not have made up is vacation. So I need to make that up. But these are my sinking funds as of right now. So I have car maintenance, Christmas, gifts, household, kids, medical, personal care, and then rent and debt snowball are obviously not sinking funds, but these are some cash envelopes that I have in here as well. These are my current 7 sinking funds. So I am going to go ahead and add in the ones that I am going to be starting in January. I like to have my sinking funds in alphabetical order. So I'm going to start here. So this is my first kid sinking fund. So that is one of them. And then I have back to school, which will go right behind that. And then car insurance. So this is to pay for my premium in July. We'll put that in there. And then it'll be car maintenance is next. Christmas. And then the next one is going to be my second child's savings sinking fund. And then gifts, household, kids. Next is going to be my third child's sinking fund. And then we have medical, personal care, rent, and then I'm going to put my savings sinking fund in there. So this is my personal savings. And then school tuition. And then behind school tuition, I will do my vacation sinking fund and then end with debt snowball. This is where I put all of my extra cash from my expense cash envelopes every week. I put the rest of that cash in there. So this will be all of my sinking funds, and then like I said, I need to add in vacations. And then this is where I store them. It works out perfect. And then I like to have my trackers on the back so that I can track what goes in and what comes out of my sinking funds at all times. So that is it set up. I will have to show you guys once I get the vacation one in here what it looks like, but that is it. That is my setup for my sinking funds for the start of January 2020, which like I said is coming up so quickly, just a few more weeks and it will be January, so a brand new year. I know everybody probably has their financial goals that they want to take care of, all sorts of planning and budgeting, and I was just really excited to get this out of the way and get my sinking funds planned. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about sinking funds or anything that you saw here, please let me know down in the description below. And give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!